Here, we are discussing about the second part of scale up and technology transfer, in which the important is scale up of liquid orals like suspension and emulsion in a disperse system. So, the physical form of drug product that is pourable displays Newtonian or pseudoplastic flow behavior and conforms to its container at room temperature. Liquid dosage forms may be dispersed system or a solution. In dispersed system, there are two or more phases where one phase is distributed into the another. We know that very well. Solution refers to the two or more substances mix that homogeneously. Those are the steps involved in liquid manufacturing process are planning of material requirement, then liquid preparation, filling and packaging, and quality assurance. So in which we are saying that the critical aspects of a liquid manufacturing, in which first is the physical plant. In that, the heating, ventilation and air controlling system is important parameter. The effect of long processing times at suboptimal temperature should be considered in terms of consequences on the physical or chemical stability of ingredients as well as a product. So formulation aspects of liquid orals. In case of suspension, the purpose and what are the agents we are using, like to facilitating the connection between API and vehicle, we are using wetting agent and salt formation ingredients. Then protecting the API, we are using buffering system to maintain the pH, polymers and on antioxidants to avoid the oxidation. Then maintaining the suspension appearance, we are adding coloring agent, suspending agent and flocculating agent. These are the parameters we have to consider into the pilot plant. Then masking and unpleasant test, where we have to adding sweetening and flavoring agent. So these are the problems which arises the time of manufacturing of suspension, and these are we are saying remedies how to resolve that problems, right, in a pilot plant. In case of emulsion, there is a purpose of a particle size, or in case of suspension also there is a main parameter is a particle size. So those are the particles or solid particles or droplet, we have to reduce that. Then protecting the API by using buffers and we can say antioxidants. Then maintaining the appearance like coloring, emulsifying agents, penetration enhancers, gelling agents, test masking or smelling, we are using sweeteners and flavors. So generally this is an one of the type of layout we are saying, or we are observing here. This layout which showing that this is an primary component tank, and one tank is of purified water. This is dosing pump. After that, a collector tank will be there, and from which the primary component tank and purified water simultaneously comes into the this collector tank, which having a continuous or a batch mixer. Then there will be a filter which is attached, then it flow through the booster pump to the homogenizer. Then mixing, where here the mixing controlling unit will be there. Then pressure pump, hydropneumatic vessels will be there. Then compressor in UV rays, then homogenization again, then filling into that to the bottle equipment or bottle equipment filling assembly. Then it goes into the particular container. After that it packed into the your desired type of container. So this is a mixing and filling lines of pharmaceutical dosage forms like oral suspension or oral liquids. Those are the equipments which is used like mixer, homogenizer, filtration assembly and a bottling assembly. This type of filtration assembly will be there. This is a general flow chart. Raw materials, then we have to measure and weigh, mix properly with the help of distilled water, filling, packaging, then finished product storage and quality assurance system. In that quality assurance, we have to discuss about dissolution of drug in a solution, potency of drug in suspension, temperature uniformity in emulsion, microbiological control, product uniformity, final volume and stability. Then some scale up for semi-solid dosage forms. In general, semi-solid dosage forms are complex formulation having complex structural elements. Often they are composed of two phases, that is oil and water, one of which is continuous phase and another which is a dispersed phase. The API is often dissolved in one phase, although occasionally the drug not fully soluble in the system and dispersed in one or both the phases, thus creating a three-phase system. So the physical properties of the dosage form depend upon the various factors, including the size of the dispersed particles, the interfacial tension between the phases, the partition coefficient of the API between the phases, and the product rheology. These factors combine to determine the release of characteristics of drug as well as the other characteristics such as viscosity, like suppositories, and these are some parameters for the true solution. In order to solutes are added to the solvent, usually unimportant. Same cannot be said to the dispersed formulation. However, because of dispersed matter can distribute differently depending onto which phase particulate substances is added. In typical manufacturing process, the critical points are generally the initial separation of one phase system into two phase and point at which the API is added. Because of the solubility of each added ingredient is important of determining whether mixture is usually or single homogeneous phase, such as data possibly supported to optical microscopy should usually be available for a review. Particularly important for solutes added to the formulation at a concentration near or exceeding that of their solubility at any temperature to which the product may be exposed. The variations in manufacturing procedure that occur after either of these events are likely to critical to the characteristics of a finished product. This is especially true of any process intended to increase the degree of dispersion through reducing droplet or a particle size by a homogenization. Or in case of emulsion, the aging of finished bulk formulation prior to packaging is critical and should specifically address in process validation studies. These are the references: The Theory and Practice of Industrial Pharmacy by Leon Lackman, Herbert Lieberman, Joseph King, third edition, published by Verghese Publication House, and Lackman and Theory and Practice of Industrial Pharmacy, third edition, Verghese Publication. Okay, thank you.